Hello, my artsy and crafty friends. This is Never Kefri. I'm here today to test out my newest pen acquisition, the Lumos Pro Duo by Tom's Studio. This video, unfortunately, is not sponsored in any way by Tom's Studio or anybody else. It's just me. I purchased the pen and the accessories on my own. And I do have another order coming in from Tom's Studio. I just placed it yesterday. I'm all excited. And so I'll have another video of more of their products to show off at a later date. Again, not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. Now, I'm going to be testing it on a number of papers. I'm going to be using a Field Notes, onion skin paper, if you know, you know, just regular note paper, and 160 GSM journaling paper that is inside of a Ty Fossey notebook. The Ty Fossey notebook you see here was a gift. This part of the video, I guess you can say, is sponsored, even though I'm not going to be totally featuring the Ty Fossey notebook. But you can see all you need to know about it in the video up here in the card. So here we go. First of all, I opened it up and I was just in love with the packaging that I tore up some of it for a mixed media project I'm going to do that is inspired by this pen. And so I just thought I'd show you this little scraps here I'm going to be using. I think it's going to turn out to be really neat. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this for a product because this pen is the most impressive pen I have ever run across, to be quite honest. And I'm not saying that because I have an affiliate code or anything like that. I got nothing, people, nothing, okay? I just really love products that are good, that work, that deliver on their promise. And that's what the Lumos Pro Duo does. Now, it's called the Duo because it has two ends. This is the slipcase. The pen came in here. It was housed in a raised cardboard bedding with down the center of the raised cardboard bedding. It says, "Creativity is contagious. Pass it on." I love that. Well, of course, I cut all that up for my mixed media project. So it's here, along with some scraps from a poster that was also included with the order. The box is really good quality. This is open, and I'm going to use this for something. I don't know what, but I am going to use it. So let's put that back together. Do you think they like the color purple there at Tom's Studio? Just maybe a little bit? So another winner for me. It's my favorite color. Anyways, here is the poster. I already did start to cut it up for my project, but it's a piece of art by Natasha Durley. And the title of this piece, which I also cut out, "Spring Comes to the Woodland," which cracked me up immensely because I live in Texas. I live in a small town that's on the northwestern corner of the Houston metro sprawl. That town is called Spring. The next town up north of us is called the Woodlands, plural. So spring comes to the woodland. I'm like, all that needed was an S. So in my mixed media project, I'm going to be adding an S. It just totally cracked me up. And then here's the bits of the poster here. But I'm going to be cutting this all up for my mixed media project. And on the other side, they have photographs of their products. They have a variety of pens, including a fountain pen, which I did order, so it'll be coming. And I got it in the iris color, which is right here. So that's a super dark purple. I can't wait to see it. And now to look at the actual pen, give it a test out. First of all, it comes with a cheeky little ink sample. And there's a swatch, and it says here, "This envelope has been lovingly hand-painted by the Tom's Studio team." So there is your ink swatch, hand-painted by someone at Tom's Studio. This is how the ink sample comes housed. and it says big ideas have small beginnings. And they sell a wide variety of inks, some of which are shimmer, but then they'll say on their website, if you do order inks from them and you have a duo pen, double check the description of the ink. Not all of them are compatible with this pen, but they are compatible with different pens that Tom Studios carries. And so this is ink, and it has a little glass swatching mechanism there so you can swatch it out, which I did on the field notes. And it also comes with a small sample of their black. Now, here's what it looks like in the field notes, since I'm talking ink right now. Again, I just swatched it out and, just made a mess. But I just wanted to see what the black looked like. What this color is called Juniper. And they have I think 3 or 4 shades of purple at their site. So really cool. This is where I tested it. I am going to be testing it again on this paper so you can see it in action. Now that I have both ends of the pen loaded with a nib. Yes, it's a dual nibbed pen. That's why it's called the Pro Duo. And you'll see how that works in a second. The ink does bleed badly on this paper, but then again, that's your field notes. It's made for notes. It's not anything fancy. All right, I'm going to be testing it on onion skin paper, regular notebook, and of course the 160 GSM notebook paper that is inside a Ty Fawcett notebook. My code for Ty Fawcett is on the screen and also below in the links under the description. In the description, I should say, that's under the video. Okay, now to see what the pen itself looks like, let me put these aside. I'll talk about the nibs here in a second too. I know y'all want to get to the pen. Also, I have not tried it on onion skin paper, so it'll be interesting. But this exposes one side. And then from the center, that's the other end. And then you just turn it around. You can have 2 different colored inks in the same pen. Yeah, 2 different inks. Same pen, 2 different nib sizes. Everything easily exchanges out. There is a foam core reservoir in there, and all you do to ink the pen is you just take the reservoir, stick it in your ink bottle, and it sucks up the ink. You pop the nib in, very simple to do. And you give the nib about 2 minutes to soak the ink up into it, and then you can start writing. This nib is the brush. It also has a chisel, a blunt, a 1.3 millimeter, no, 1.3, what am I talking about? 0.3 millimeter and a 0.5 millimeter. These are all like foam nibs, and then over here you've got a small metal housing for the other nibs, and they come in 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, 0.8, and 1.0. I have the 0.3 in the other end, so you'll get to see how that writes, as well as the brush. This is just me practicing my penmanship here. So now I'm going to do some writing samples. So I'm going to switch my overhead view here and get going with that. All right, this is the brush end of the Pro Duo, or is it Duo Pro? It's one or the other. It'll be in the title. And we'll just do the name. This is the ink I put in this pen. On this side is by Pilot's Irishi, what is it? I never know. I can never remember how to pronounce it. Iroshizuku? I think it's Iroshizuku. And it is a light blue color. I forget the name. I'll put it on the screen here. But we have a real brush nib, and it is very, very nice. And I'm just showing you, this isn't meant to be an official review or anything. Just in case you're curious. So I don't really have any technical things to say about it, but I mean, look at that. I love it. I really, really do. It feels like a pencil in the hand. It's not very heavy at all. I have wrist issues in both my wrists, and it doesn't bother me. I can write and write. I was away for the weekend this past weekend visiting my in-laws, and so I had to do some back journaling. And so I went ahead and did that for 3 days worth of writing in my Hobonichi Techo Cousin on Tomo River paper, and it wrote like a dream and didn't bother my wrists at all. Now we're going to look at the 0.3, and again, you just turn it from the center. Then you turn this end around and just screw it in. And it's good to go. And again, I'll just write the name of the company once more. This is their sample of juniper ink that they sell. Sorry if my handwriting is a little shaky or if my hand shakes. I am on my 3rd cup of coffee today. My father-in-law is unfortunately having really serious issues with dementia, and I didn't get much sleep for 2 nights. And even though I've been home for 2 days, I've got to start each day with 3 cups of coffee or I cannot function. So it was not a good visit. It was really tough. My poor daughter. I mean, but there you go. It's really nice. Really nice on the onion skin. And the ink is really good quality. Look at that. It doesn't smear. Look. Whoops. Like I said, it doesn't smear. Let me try the brush end because I did not do a smear test with it on any paper. So let me try a smear test with the brush nib. Of course, this is going to give us a lot more ink on the paper. I am fully expecting it to smear, okay? Whoa. Wow. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Am I right or am I right? That is really nice. Okay, that is a testament to the paper. That is a testament to the ink. Now we're going to see. Let me go ahead and get the field notes out here. Now again, like I said earlier, you know, your Fields note paper is just that. It's note paper. It's nothing fancy. I do all my initial pen tests and ink swatches. Did I say splotches first? I meant swatches. In this field notes. And let's do, I don't know what I want to write. I never know. I usually write the name of the pen and the ink that's in the pen. Now, there are different pens that Tom Studios sells at different price points. The Duo Pro is at the higher end. Oh my God, it is so worth it. So worth it. I am so happy with it that I went ahead and ordered their fountain pen, which is, at the time of the recording of this video, the weekend, Mother's Day weekend in America. So May 9th and 10th. I think everything at their site is like 30% off. So if you want to order, you got to order now. But there's the Duo Pro. Does not smear. Regular usage, it doesn't bleed through on the, oh, wait a second. Yeah, it does. It does bleed through on the field notes paper. But again, that's the paper's issue, not the ink. But again, no smearing. Now we're going to do the 3mm nib. Here we go. That is so smooth. I mean, it's just gliding. And this paper is not great paper. Again, sorry for the shaky. It's caffeine. Nothing. And you know, I'm writing and I'm trying to smear it immediately. Nothing. It's awesome. Then on the opposite side, with the 3mm, you don't get any ghosting, no ghosting, no bleed through with the 3mm, but with the brush nib you do. Okay, so that's on my beat up field notes here. I'm going to go on and let's see, we did the onion skin paper, we did field notes. Now we're going to do just plain regular note paper. This is a spiral bound notebook that was literally like 50 cents. So here we go. This is now the 3mm Duo Pro. By Tom Studio. I'm telling you, it is so smooth. I mean, seriously. Okay, now let's see the bleed through. Slight ghosting, very slight. This is from little specks from this page here, so that's not bleed through. No bleed through, very slight ghosting. It's really nice. And now we're going to do a smear test. This is again their juniper ink. Nothing. However, that's interesting. Okay, here's the ink. I'm not going to do anything to it. You see the shade, right? Let me zoom in a little bit. Now, come over here and do the same thing. Well, over here it looked like it got darker. I guess not. Okay, it's just me. Now we're going to try it on 160 GSM. I have not tried this on 160 either. So, oh wait, I didn't do the brush. Let me do the brush nib. And then we will try it on 160 GSM paper. So here it is again, the brush nib on just regular notebook paper. I'm a lefty. I can't write on top of a spiral bound. So my spiral bound notebooks, I have to turn them upside down. And the brush nib itself is really soft. So to get that nice calligraphy look, you do have to be a little bit careful with your upstrokes. Very soft on the upstroke, heavy on the downstroke. Gives you that pretty faux calligraphy look. There you go. I mean, look at that. It's just so pretty. I love it. Love it, love it. Let's do a smear test. Nothing. Again, the ink in this is Pilot Iroshizuku. And this color is Ama something. I don't remember. I'll put it on the screen. I just got it like a couple weeks ago, so it's not fresh in mind right now. But there you go. It does bleed through with the brush quite badly on regular paper, lined paper. Let's check for smearing. Again, it's more a test of the ink, and you don't get any. But there you go. That is Tom Studio Duo on field notes, regular notebook paper, and onion skin paper. Now we're going to try it on the 160 GSM that is within the Ty Fossey notebook. And I am an affiliate for Ty Fossey. My code is on the screen. It's also below. This paper is lovely. It's very comparable to the paper that Archer and Olive uses. I'm also affiliate for Archer and Olive. That code is also on the screen and below. But these are acrylic markers. Took it like a champ to where I used markers on both sides of the paper. Super, super nice. And let's see. I'm doing some stuff in here. I guess we do it on this page because I'm going to glue these two pages together because I used a lot of water on the side for a project and it wrinkled a little bit. So again, this is now the brush. That is really nice. Really nice. Smear test. Again, nothing. Flip it over. Now this will speak, oh, poo. I have gesso on the other side. So there's no bleed through. I didn't realize that. Okay. Oops. We'll go to another page in here. I don't want to do that. Let's go to the back. Here we go. One of my Grail pens my husband got me a few months ago. And when I used it, I wrote on here, I swear I heard the angelic choir. Yeah, it's an incredible pen. I still love that pen with a broad nib. Oh my gosh, it is just amazing. If you can hear, the brush nib has a tiny bit of feedback on this 160 GSM. It's not much. It is not affecting the way I write, but I can kind of feel it a little bit in the brush nib. But again, it's not bad at all. This is almost something. Okay, so very slight smear, very slight. The ink sits on top of this 160 GSM, just 2 seconds, maybe 1.5 seconds. So if you do run your finger or your hand across it, if you're a lefty like me, you can smear it in the first 1 to 2 seconds. Otherwise, nothing's going to happen. 1, 2. Yeah, then there's nothing. And then we look at the other side. And again, I have stuff on the other side. But there is no bleed through. If there was, I would see it. I see nothing. So good job. That is for the Pilot Iroshizuku ink. And now we're going to do the other end. Always got to be careful and cover your nibs up as you switch from one end of the pen to the other. This is now the 0.3. Oh my gosh, that's so smooth. Wow, I love it. It feels better to me than microns do. You know, by Sakura, the fine liners. This feels better. Wow. Oh my. I did order myself another set of nibs. You can get this all in a set, but you can also order the nibs separately, and I think on sale they're like $9 for 11 nib alternatives. So I got another one. Yeah, that's real nice. Now this is the Juniper ink. Juniper ink. Nothing. No smear at all. And then we look at the other side, and I wrote it kind of like along in here. I'm going to hold it up a little bit to get some light under there. Yeah, I don't see any bleed through. There's no bleed through. There's no ghosting. It's really, really, really nice. So I would say this pen is a total winner. I have been super impressed. Like I said, I wrote 3 pages in my Hobonichi Techo Cousin without any issues with my wrists, which do have pain in them. I had to help move my father-in-law. He's kind of like quasi-bedridden right now. And so, you know, lifting him in and out of bed and all that. And I just really did a number on both my wrists, one of which just had surgery last October. And obviously, I found out the hard way it's still healing. But anyway, otherwise, this pen does not bother my wrists. It is a winner. And I can't wait to sketch with it. I can't wait for my next order to come. I've ordered, like I said, the Tom Studio fountain pen with 2 different nibs. I ordered it with the Architect and I'm trying to think, what was the other nib? The Architect and I think it was one of their Flex. Anyway, and I also ordered their smaller pen, the Ren, which is very much like the Duo Pro. And so we'll see how those hold up. And I ordered, like I said, the nibs and a couple of ink samples, which come in the 5mm bottles like this. So that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for watching. I am Nefer Kefri. I am wishing you all a very blessed day ahead.